I'm CEO and founder of Holiday Online. We are a classified listings business working in the travel tech space. And I'm really pleased that for the first time in a long while, I'm not actually pitching for money. We successfully closed our fundraising rounds and we got some local investors, which was great. And we also went on to seeders.com and we overfunded with over 200 investors backing and supporting what we're doing. So what I'll do instead, rather than pitching you for cold hard cash, which is nice and makes a great change, I'll tell you about what we're doing, where we're aspiring to go to, and I'll start with kind of telling you a bit about the journey of how we got to where we are. So I've got a background in technology. I've got sort of 20 years experience in tech, but about 10 years plus of that is in the online space. I spent 7 years with Rightmove and I was responsible for their international product, which was called Rightmove overseas. So my job there was to grow the listings, the number of property adverts around the world. And what we specialised in was helping Brits, so people in the UK, buy properties overseas. So I had 7 great years with those guys, and I was between Buckinghamshire and London, which were the Rightmove offices. And then my family decided to make the move up to Norfolk and just outside of Norwich. So my wife's originally from here, and it was a big move for us. We got me, the wife, 3 kids, 2 cats, so it was a huge move. But the reason for doing it was when I was at Rightmove, I really kind of got the entrepreneurial bite to want to run my own business, because Rightmove overseas, it was a business within a business. So we had our own P&L, our own developers, sales, marketing teams, just operating underneath the Rightmove banner. So being in Norwich, totally unemployable, crap broadband, gave me the real opportunity to start my own business. And I created a global property portal called ProperStar. And ProperStar did the reverse of what I was doing at Rightmove. So ProperStar was helping overseas buyers find properties in the UK. And that's now owned by a Swiss company. But what I realised was missing in my portfolio was I'd done the bit from Brits buying overseas and overseas buying in the UK, but I hadn't really done anything on a local level. And that was where the idea for Holiday Online came about. So essentially what Holiday Online does is it helps holiday home makers and small holiday lettings businesses in a local area to reach the global market of online travellers. We kind of brand ourselves as Airbnb, but made simpler for the rural and coastal locations, and it's rural and coastal that is our niche that we're going after. The problem that we're solving is that in coastal and rural locations, like Norfolk, a lot of the holiday home owners are older and they're less tech savvy, so they're not making the best use out of the holiday and the platforms that are out there. So we're in a room full of tech people. If you had a holiday home and you had your £1 million, you'd just stick it on Airbnb, like we all know. But in order to make a good Airbnb listing, there's a lot of things you have to do. So you've got to be able to write good copy, have good photos, so you've got to be a marketeer. Then you've got to be able to manipulate data. So you've got to figure out what's my pricing, how is that going to work off peak, when it's peak season? Am I just doing weeks during the summertime? Am I doing long weekends? How does that all work? And then you need to be available. So when an inquiry is coming in online at 10 o'clock at night, you've got to be able to use the app and be responsive. So now put yourself in the shoes of one of these older, less tech savvy property owners. That's not what they kind of got into it for. Many of their sort of journeys were they wanted to buy a holiday home. So they bought a holiday home and then they were like, well, we're not there that much. Let's let our family use it. And now we can let our friends use it. And then they still realise it's just unused more than it is used. So they're then faced with this situation of, okay, what do we want to do if we want to make some money out of it? So they can choose to go one of 2 ways. They can kind of go full service agency. So locally you have people like Norfolk Country Cottages who are going to do a brilliant job for you, but they're going to charge you 20% to manage it, and then they're going to charge you for cleaning and maintenance. And the reality is they then don't want you anywhere near that property because they want to run it as a business asset. Or the other end of the market is what we call the self-service market. So that's doing it on the Airbnb. But we've got the problem of these older, less tech-savvy people. The result means that they're either not doing it, so you can't find the properties online easily, or they're not doing it properly, which means they're resulting in not getting any bookings. So what we do is we sit in the middle, so we're charging 10%, no set-up fee, we're doing all the work, only charge if we get a result on that booking. And we sit in the middle and we're connecting the what we call the analog owners with the digital travellers. So how are we doing that? So Holiday Online is the business, but the idea is to launch a load of hyper-local brands. So the first brand that we've launched is called NorfolkHoliday.com. And what that enables us to do is market directly to the local holiday home owners. And they're really happy to talk to us because we're local. And Airbnb and Booking.com aren't reaching out to them. And even if they did, they probably wouldn't trust them anyway because they're not local. So we get to talk to them. And what we do is when we take their property, we put it onto our platform, and then we're connected with Airbnb, Booking.com and HomeAway in order to get the bookings for them. The big idea is to launch a whole host of hyper-local brands around the UK. So we're in Norwich right now, we're in Norfolk right now, and the idea is that we're going to go into Suffolk and the Lake District quite soon. What we're doing isn't new, it's not unique, we haven't invented anything. Actually, the people leading the way in taking the hassle out of Airbnb market is a company called Air Sorted, and they've been going for around 4 years now. They've got 4,000 listings, but what they've done is they've done a number of successful fundraisers, and each time they've raised money, they've chosen to go into other big cities, but outside of the UK. So what we're doing, going after that coastal, rural market, we've got kind of a niche that is pretty much, there's no competition, low competition. We can go after it pretty much unencumbered at the moment. That market size for us, going after those types of properties, rural, coastal location, we think is worth about 200 million. So it's a decent market for us to attack. The idea in terms of what's kind of the long-term plan, I talked about Air Sorted. So like I said, they've been going 4 years, got 4,000 listings on the books, and they're valued today at £33 million. So that's a great story. In the travel tech space, big agencies buy small agencies all the time. It's just what happens. So it's why we're excited in getting in. So at a normal valuation, companies are selling for around 10 times their earning. So our ambition is in about 4 or 5 years to have a valuation of around 15 million to 33 million. And I think that's not a bad place to be if we can get there. So where are we at now? So like I say, me as the solo entrepreneur, had the idea, built the proposition, kind of tested it, tried to fail fast, but actually it's kind of working. Then customers wanted to join, so it was then, well, let's go get some funding. So now we've got the funding in, so now I'm in this great position about to go out and do it properly. I talked earlier about wanting to do something that has a local impact. So although we're going to launch all around the UK, the hub is going to be here in Norwich. So I'm now looking to hire, recruit, build a team around me. So if there's smart people in a room, so we've got to get sales, marketing, development, whatever we need, then actually part of me being here today, not asking for money, but actually I've got to build my network and meet good people. The other thing that I think is sort of the local benefit, so we've kind of mapped out in Norfolk, certainly, what we think business is going to happen over the next few years, how many travellers we think we're going to bring in. And when you look at average spend per traveller, looking at some of the statistics out there, if we do what we think we're going to do, then actually in terms of traveller spend, not people just spending money to book the accommodation, but travellers spending money in the local economy, going to tourist attractions, we think we're going to add about £5 million to the Norfolk economy. So I think that's quite a good place to be, and not lining just the investors of Rightmove, which is what I was doing before. So my name's Sham, the business is Holiday Online. It'd be really great to meet you guys after, but also on the flip side of that, building a network. So I've got a long history in the online space. I've now definitely got a track record in raising money. This last year has been a real learning curve. So if I can help any of you in your businesses, then feel free to give me a shout. We're based in St George's Street, which is a 5-minute walk from here. We're between the Last Wine Bar and the Playhouse. That gives you a sense of the kind of person I am. But again, I hope you enjoyed the pitch, and give us a vote and a chat later. Thank you.